Hello, Internet, and welcome to another Tadpog podcast, a show that happens twice a week where two old guys talk about old games.
Hold up. We're not doing.
I got a story.
We're not doing Tadpog. This isn't Tadpog podcast. This is Two Dudes and an S.
We're not even on that show.
No, we're not. But we're doing a promo. We're introducing their show, and we're going to plug our show in the process. So it works out. It works out for them because they get us doing what we do, and then we get all their listeners. They promise that all of their listeners will start listening to our show.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
I said it's pretty good.
Yeah. We definitely want all the listeners.
Hey, Justin.
What's up, man?
Not much. Just robbing the rich and giving to the poor. No, wait, wrong game. Or is it?
Maybe.
It's the wrong game. We're not talking about Robin Hood. We're talking about Defender of the Crown. But Robin Hood's in Defender of the Crown.
Yeah, he's loosely in it.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah. You know what I was thinking, though? When it just came to my mind when you said, hey, Justin.
Uh-huh.
I had, first minute going into a tangent here, but one of our favorite moments in cinematic history on Harold and Kumar. Hey, Rodney. What? The devil. Who? Oh,
the devil
man,
is
classic.
everywhere. Yeah, I love that. That's so good. Why do you think? That's why we do it on the show, because it takes us back.
Yeah. Christopher Maloney is awesome. He's in so
awesome.
many just funny roles, minor roles.
I know, and he's in such a serious role on Law and Order too. It just blows my mind.
Yeah. Okay, so Defender of the Crown.
Yeah. Well, actually, before we get into that, I just want to say a little something, or a few little somethings about the show in general. I have not been paying close attention to downloads because I used to stress out about it. Oh, we're going to have enough downloads this week or whatever. And I quit stressing about that, and I quit paying attention to it. But we passed 100,000 plays / downloads about 15,000 ago.
Woo!
Yeah, that's pretty incredible, really. I mean, we're not, we're not IGN or anything, but we've been going at it for about a year, and in a year's time, we've gotten 100,000 plays / downloads. That's pretty incredible, if you ask me.
We're nipping at their heels, I think.
Yeah, I'm sure. Although I will say, and we like to badmouth Podomatic on this podcast. There's my train.
Hey, train.
What?
Was it Dude Tim that posted? Was it Dude Tim that posted the train meme this past week?
Yeah, it was. That was pretty funny.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so we like to badmouth Podomatic on here, and I think Podomatic basically just straight up lied to us about our downloads, because when we switched from Podomatic, we lost half of our downloads. So either half the listeners did not follow us over after we switched off Podomatic, or Podomatic was just straight up lying to us the whole time.
Interesting.
Yeah. Also, in show news, our Patreon is doing awesome. We passed the $30 mark, which means we got a junk box coming. First week of May, I'm going to package it up and send it on its way. Now, with that, I would say that we're going to limit it to a certain number of people, and preference goes to the Patreon people since they basically paid for it. So that's the way that's going to go.
Right, of course.
And then on a slightly more serious note, before we get into the show, I would like to say, we're talking about donating to us, the podcast, right? And we talked a long time ago, I think it was maybe our Star Tropics episode, we talked about a friend of ours who has a kid. His name is Elliot. The kid's name's Elliot. Crabman is the guy we're talking about. But I feel like we haven't been updating people on that. We asked them to donate a long time ago, and then we kind of didn't tell anybody. Well, the kid is here. It was born, which is actually a miracle in and of itself for the type of disease that the kid has. But and he's pretty healthy, but he's not 100% healthy, obviously. And so they're spending a lot of time in and out of the hospital, and a lot of time on therapy, and a lot of money on all this stuff too. So I guess what I'm getting around to, as much as I hate asking people for money all the time, and we just got through talking about asking people for Patreon and whatnot. I guess what I'm saying is, if you're touched by, a child in need, and you would rather give to that than our podcast, then maybe think about stopping the Patreon contribution for a little bit. And you can always come back and donate to us later. But for now, if you want to, and just go check out the GoFundMe site, I would recommend going to GoFundMe, or just Google searching GoFundMe Elliot Crabtree, and then just read his story. They've got his story posted up there. I'll also give out the GoFundMe. It's GoFundMe.com/BW0D1G. Okay? BW0D1G. You're probably better off just searching Elliot Crabtree and GoFundMe. But just read his story. He's a close friend of ours. His dad is Josh Crabtree. He's a close friend of ours, a close friend of the show. If Josh is super busy now that the kid is here, and kind of a special needs kid, so he probably won't be able to come on the show for a while. But we definitely want to get him on the show eventually, and you'll hear from him eventually. But kind of a downer at the beginning of the show. But the kid is doing good, so he's in our thoughts. But they are in and out of the hospital, so there's a lot of. And some of you all, and I also want to praise some of our listeners have donated to this, and I definitely want to praise all those D-padders that have donated. We really appreciate it. Justin and I personally would like to thank you on that front.
Absolutely. Yeah, if anybody's familiar out there with, something called arthrogryposis, it's a tough illness. It's, or disability, I guess. And it's something that they're going to have to deal with for a long time. And any little bit of help is going to be so beneficial, especially in these early years, because this is when, he's going to need a lot of therapy and things, and so any help. I mean, a penny, would help. Just it doesn't matter. No, yeah. So that'd be really beneficial to a good friend of the show. Anyway,
so Defender of the Crown.
Yeah.
Now let's lift everybody's spirits back up with this amazing game, right?
Right.
Maybe.
Or is it amazing?
I don't know.
We'll talk about that in the gameplay. Okay. I've got a lot to talk about in this game. We could talk about a little bit of history.
I would much rather talk about a little bit of history first, I think.
Justin's historical tidbits and trivia. Although whenever I think of tidbits, because we wanted to do Tadpog tidbits,
right?
Where it was just be a 2-minute thing where we talk about.
I thought it was a minute-long podcast. Tidbits.
Oh, I guess that works too. I was just a minute to 2 minutes where we just talk about our junk on Facebook, and it's Tadpog tidbits.
Okay. So, Defender of the Crown is a strategery computer game designed by Kellen Black, and that Kellen is spelled like Kelly with an N at the end of it.
Kelly Kapowski?
Maybe. It was actually developed by CinemaWare, and it was originally released for the Commodore Amiga. Is that how you say that?
I think it's Amiga.
Amiga. Like Amiga.
Yeah, like Amigo, but Amiga.
Yeah.
Mi Amiga. All right, this is getting out of hand.
Which a lot of people on our Facebook group, which we'll get to that, talked about the Amiga version. And it was really kind of a graphic, had a huge graphic quality on this computer game when it was developed. It was not something that had been seen before, and was originally released in 1986 for the Amiga. Now, the Amiga version, when it was released, was very well liked, but there was actually a few things that were left out because, interestingly enough, CinemaWare was running out of money at the time that they were developing this game, so they just kind of wrapped it up, sent it out, and they left a few things out, and it was small things, like there was one of the catapults would shoot fireballs, for example, but they just took it out because they needed to get it out because they were going to go belly up if they didn't. Interestingly enough, CinemaWare eventually did go belly up, but not until later on. But so this game was, released and very well received, and then ported multiple times. It was ported to DOS and Apple II, and other computer gaming systems. Macintosh also had a version. Then it made its way over to the Atari, and then the NES. And the port for the NES was a little bit different from the computer game. First of all, the box art was different, which I've got something funny to talk about in the box art, but that's going to have to wait. And but there was loss in the graphic and audio quality. Now, of course, I have not played the Amiga version. I was not able to track down an Amiga in the past week and a half.
Unfortunate.
But from what I've read and from the pictures that I've seen, the Amiga version, the graphics are a lot better than the NES version. And apparently because of the NES's inferior computing qualities, that's the reason. They kind of had to tone it down a little bit. But apparently there are differences. There's a little bit more in-depth strategic elements to the NES version than the Amiga version.
Really?
So it'd be interesting to play the Amiga version. I'm sure there's a ROM out there that you can play it. But I didn't actually take the time to go find that. Did you?
Is that a segue?
No. Oh. I want to say one more thing.
Okay. No, I didn't find it.
Was
an Amiga version.
Yeah. It was of course published by Ultra Games into the United States, or for the NES. Ultra, of course, did a lot of work with other gaming systems, got this one for CinemaWare. And then just to throw this out there, if anybody wants it, you can get a used version for about $6 on Amazon or eBay. A new in-box version for $80. So
the NES version?
Now, Michael, the NES version, yes. Now, Michael, did you play this game? Have this game?
Michael's quest to find the cart. Does he find it?
Well, what kind of cart?
A cartridge, maybe?
Oh, a cartridge.
Probably a cartridge.
Cartridge. Okay.
I mean, they are talking about this game, so I'm assuming that he did find the cartridge. Spoilers.
Okay, there we go.
Go on a giant quest?
I did not go on a giant quest. I played this game in the demo version, as I air quote. And we all know what we're calling the demo version. We won't actually speak of the word, but I did order it though on eBay. It just didn't get here in time for me to play it, so I couldn't find it locally. It's actually it's a pretty cheap game to be so rare. It's actually a pretty rare game. It seems like it's hard to find, but it's actually not. Nobody really charges that much online, so I just got it online. It just didn't get here in time, so I ended up playing the demo version.
Well, in the small town that I live in, Michael, I have one game store, retro game store. There is actually a GameStop up here, but there is a little place that Mike and I have lovingly nicknamed Shady Game Store.
With love.
They did
with
not.
Love.
Right. Yes. They did not have it.
No.
Very anticlimactic end to that story, but yeah, they didn't have it. So
well, mine was.
I also played the demo. I also played the quote unquote demo version.
Right. So. Well, that's okay. That's okay. So, segue. What did you think about your playing of this game?
The game discussion. And I read it like the game, because that's a Triple H. That's how he says his name on the WWE. The game.
I don't like that voice. I think
the game discussion.
It seems like you're trying too hard.
Dave, I love you.
Oh, well, okay. I love you too, Tyler, but I still...
Two dudes in an NES.
It's a NES.
I claim it for myself.
It's... Okay.
Time to discuss the game.
Well, you know what? I'm going to preface this a little bit. At first, I was like, I don't really care for this game. It's, I can't really figure out what's going on. I was having to look up in the strategy guides and kind of see what I was supposed to do. I was like, this just seems... The gameplay doesn't seem that good. Kind of anti-action-y. But I want to... After I started reading reviews about this game, I thought... Maybe this is not a fair game to give a rating to playing it in a week and a half. This may be a game... that's what I read in a lot of the reviews. A lot of the reviews said, first the game just feels horrible. And then over time, it's like you get used to it, what you need to do, the gameplay, the controls, and it gets better. So maybe, I wasn't crazy about it in this past week and a half, but... Maybe that's just because it's not had a lot of time.
I got you.
I've not had a lot of time to play it.
Okay, now that we've got your initial impression out of the way, and I'll tell you my initial impression is sort of the same as you. First thing I thought of was Risk. I thought it just screamed Risk to me because you're capturing territories and stuff, and it kind of feels like a board game. But first, I'm going to bring back a little segment we haven't done in a few weeks, at least.
Uh-oh.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
It's called The Manual.
Sweet.
Woo!
Yeah.
It's everybody's favorite segment, I know.
Yeah. I like how it says how to play right on the first page.
How to play Defender of the Crown.
Yeah.
Second page is limited warranty. Okay. And then look at this awesome... For those of you that can turn to page 3, please, look at this awesome artwork on the right side. This evil-looking knight guy is basically capturing a scantily clad woman, looks like.
Yes, with a horse that seems to be screaming in pain. Yeah.
He's missing his sweet feed. He's like, where's my sweet feed?
Oh, it's exactly right. Nice throwback there.
Yeah, I'm trying to bring back some more throwbacks here. Okay.
Putin would be impressed by the damsel in distress.
Yes, he would. England, 1149 AD. So you get in the Wayback Machine for Defender of the Crown. When history and fantasy were one, right?
Yeah. I like this. Ripe with civil war, the once peaceful English countryside is tormented by trampling armies and thundering hooves, and its grassy knolls are stained red by knights and serfs. Yeah.
The serfs? Yeah, poor serfs.
I know. The serfs always get the bad end of the stick.
Yeah, I know. Stinks. Let's see. I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff here. You go raiding. You can buy an army. You can conquest. You can do tournaments. How to crown yourself. This game teaches you how to crown yourself. Right. Your goal is to crush the 3 Norman castles, thus claiming the missing crown. To do so, you must accumulate wealth by conquering lands and raiding castles. With this stash of cash, you must build armies for further conquest and defense of your territories you've already claimed. The other Saxons are initially your allies, but remember, they want to be king of England as well.
So yeah, well, we forgot to kind of. You may have mentioned it, and I just didn't catch it. So this game starting out as somebody's killed the king, right, or the king has died.
Yeah, something like that, and it's brought civil war to England.
Right, because everybody wants to take over.
Yeah, I guess I'm not hip on my history as far as my medieval history, but is it the what are the guys called? The lords of the land? Is that what they're called? Lords? Yeah, 6 great lords. So you take on the role as one of these lords of the land, which the lords were kind of like what, governors, I guess, something like that.
Well, it's more like I think it's more like an aristocracy thing. I think they just have the land. and so they just kind of get the title of lord because they pretty much rule over the land that they own.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the king would rule over everybody.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, we need a history.
I don't know.
We need like a history. Where's well, no, he was American history. What about Fiesel? What did Fiesel teach? Where's Fiesel in here?
Yeah, he was more American history as well.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know who to call.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Moving on. Once you've knighted yourself, advance through Sherwood Forest. Then on to the status screen. I find that funny.
Yeah.
They mix in all this stuff, like the controls in with the story kind of here, you know?
Yeah. Which is an interesting take on it. It's not just straightforward. I do like the 3 strengths that each person has.
Yeah, here
and
you
it's
go.
basically based on jousting, swordplay, and leadership.
Mm-hmm. Leadership. Which, I didn't know this at first, but apparently the leadership changes based on whether or not you win in jousting and your fame goes up and how well you do in battles and stuff.
Right.
Like it goes up and down. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
So if you pick a guy who's weak in leadership, you could potentially make him better.
Right. So now when I played the game, I was Wilford of Ivanhoe.
That's who I was too, because he seemed like the easiest to start with.
Let's go over these characters now. Wilford of Ivanhoe and Wulfric the Wild, they look like people that would be from 1149 AD.
Yeah, they make sense.
But let's look at Cedric of Rotherwood and Geoffrey Longsword.
Cedric looks like he looks like he's from like the mid to late 80s.
Like the WWF.
Yeah.
Like Scott Hall. Where's the toothpick in his mouth?
Right. He's got the mullet, he's got the little curls in the front, he's got a big mustache.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. Look at that mustache.
And that's
why his leadership is strong.
Yeah, everybody looks at that stash and they get weak in the knees.
We will follow you to our death. Yes. And then Geoffrey Longsword. That's such 80s slick back hair, but the one little curl right there.
He reminds me of AC Slater.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, it's
okay.
Funny. So we both picked Wilfred then. I just picked him mainly because he was basic at everything, and he was also the first one that showed up whenever you had choices.
Yeah. I thought he was probably the best, but looking at it now, maybe Cedric of Rotherwood was maybe the better, because he's got a strong leadership, average jousting, and good swordplay.
Yeah, I would think Wulfric the Wild would be the best if his swordplay wasn't weak, you know? Because his
leadership's weak too.
Yeah, but you can build leadership with good jousting.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Okay.
The Tournament of Champions, jousting, the Morning Star. I guess let's talk about the jousting for a minute, because that's the thing that kind of irked me the most at first.
Okay.
Because I could not. I don't know if it's because the NES's graphic quality was subpar in this game, or the controls just weren't there, but out of probably 10 tries, I think I knocked the other guy off twice.
Yeah, I wasn't very good at it either, and it kind of confused me because at first it looks like in the 3D setting, it looks like you're charging toward each other, and then the scene cuts away, and then you go to the 2D running toward each other.
Yeah, I think the idea is you want to hit their shield, like dead center, and that's what knocks them off.
Right.
But I could never tell when my jousting stick, I couldn't even see it move. It didn't even look like it was moving. And it was just pure luck whether or not I could knock them off.
Right.
So, but yeah, then you go sideways, side scrolling, side screen, whatever, and you've got the Morning Star, which is like a mace that you can smack them with. And I did like that part.
Here's the thing about that part. That part just made me laugh. at when I first saw it, because when you think of like medieval battling with a mace, like you're going to be spinning that thing pretty fast, you know.
Yeah.
But if you watch these guys, they're just like barely twirling it. It's almost like just like a party. And all I could think of was the guy twirling it's going, woo, woo, as he's twirling it. That's all I could think about.
I thought of two different things during this. One is I thought of the skip it. You remember the skip it?
Oh yeah,
the thing you put on your ankle and you jump and you count. For some reason, just the pace of the way that thing was spinning around their head, I thought of the skip it. And then
it did look like it.
And then the second thing I thought of was, I cannot remember the guy's name. I may get it wrong, but Petey Pablo had a rap song out in the
Take Your Shirt Off.
Late 90s. Yeah, twist it around your head like a helicopter. I kept thinking of that. I kept singing that song to myself as I was trying to smack them with my mace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the mace, man. That's a weapon right there.
Yeah, that's a pretty serious weapon.
Yeah,
I can't imagine being smacked in the face with one of them.
It's like you hit the shield and it doesn't hurt them, but I'm fairly certain no matter where you hit with that thing, it's gonna hurt somebody.
Yeah, I wonder how heavy that thing is in real life. Have you ever played with one?
I have never played with a real one.
No. Interesting. Maybe somebody out there can let us know.
Yeah.
Okay, so buying an army and conquest. Let's talk about the overworld, or what I like to call the risk part of this game. Because basically, you're buying armies, and you're taking turns, and then you can try to conquer adjacent lands, or just trying to build up your defense. You know, and when you buy an army, that ends your turn, or if you conquer something, that ends your turn. Right. Something like that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I had a lot of trouble. You start with an army, but I had a lot of trouble in the beginning, and this may just be me because I'm an idiot. I had a lot of trouble with finding my army, because you start with 20 people, but it says you got to go somewhere and then move your army out of your garrison and into your actual troops or whatever. And for some reason, I couldn't find that whenever I was first playing this game. And I think it's just because I'm an idiot, because once I did find it, I thought, oh, well, hello, there it is.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's another thing. I think, that's why I tried to preface this, review section of the podcast, because it's like, I feel like I'm a little biased against it, and it's really just almost unfair because, I think it's a good game. I couldn't get into it with the little time that I had to play with it.
Yeah, I think this is a game that if you play it a lot, you learn little things that you need to do.
Right.
And the little things that, and we'll get into it here in a little bit when we talk about our high score challenge, because we're doing high score challenges every week now. Mm-hmm. And there's somebody in our high score group that is really good at this game. And we'll talk about that when we go to talk about the high scores. But there's something about I don't know what it is. There's a lot to this game. And I feel like the more you play it, the more little things you find out. Mm-hmm. And therefore the better you are.
Yeah, I think maybe the same person that you were talking about. I think he's the one that actually requested this game.
That's
Tim?
Right. Yeah, it's Tim.
Tim.
There's a reason why he requested it.
Yeah, so Dude Tim was like putting up these little pointers there. And they were like really like almost kind of really specific detailed things that it was like, man, there's a lot of games out there that I know little real specific things, but he knows this game very well.
Yeah, he was the. Well, I guess we can go ahead and talk about the high score now. He was the only person other than me that submitted a score, but I think it's because he submitted his fairly early and he beat the game, and it just kind of blew everybody else away. They're like, well, we can't compete with that.
Yeah. And
the way we did the scoring was there isn't an actual score in the game, but you do have money, and so you collect money through the game, right?
Right.
And you also spend money. But each turn you earn so much based on your territory. So we came up with a way to saying, okay, cash on hand, which is how much you have that you haven't spent, plus however many territories you've conquered, whatever your normal income is, like your base income each turn. And his combined was almost like 200 gold or something like that. And the best I could come up with was 50 something maybe.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. I can't find it.
His score, I've got his score here. Let me pull it up.
Okay.
He had 162. That was his score, 162. Mine was 70. But I will say the way I got to that 70 was it was kind of cheap because I just spent because the first few turns there's open land for you to conquer, right? So I spent my first few turns conquering as much open land as I could and not spending any money. And so that's how I got 70. I didn't spend any money, and I just conquered as much open land as I could so that my income was up. So it's kind of cheating, I guess.
Whatever. Do what you can.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you were close to winning.
Right.
No offense.
No, that's true. He more than doubled my score, so it's not like I really stood a chance.
Right. Now, there is part of this game where you can apparently use Robin Hood. Did you get to that part?
I talked to him, but I didn't know how to use him.
Yeah. You're supposed to be able to get him to, like, help you. But I don't know where that is or how to do that.
I couldn't figure it out. I know I talked to him, and he promised that he would help me, but then I couldn't figure out how to actually get him to help me.
And I think I'm a little handicapped on this game, too, because I've said it before, and it's almost blasphemy to all the video gamers out there, but it's like, I'm not a very good RPG guy. I'm not very good at RPGs.
This is almost like it's not even an RPG, it's a...
Right,
It's a strategy game, so it's kind of like playing like a Command and Conquer or something almost.
Stratego. Remember when we used to play Stratego?
Oh, yeah, we played Stratego all the time. I love that game.
It was either there was a broad range of board games that we played at that apartment. It was Stratego, Candyland.
Yeah. That's good.
So, yeah. But anyway.
Yeah, that is weird. That's and everything in between too. But
yeah.
Okay, so what about
Stratego and Candyland?
Yeah, okay, so that's really all we played. Well, we had a reason for Candyland because we kind of turned that into a drinking game because we were stupid kids.
Yeah.
But
you know.
Right. Yeah, so there's also a couple instances in the game where you can raid. I'm going to go ahead and close this. So you can raid in the game where you can like storm another person's castle and steal all their goods, I guess.
Right, which is one of the, I guess, ways that you're supposed to get money at the beginning.
Is do a bunch of raids. Yeah, that was a tip from Tim. He said do a bunch of raids in the beginning and use a catapult to knock down the wall, but I couldn't figure out how to aim the catapult properly.
Yeah.
So I never knocked down any walls.
Yeah.
And then the sword fighting is... Sorry, go ahead.
Well, the sword fighting is almost kind of awkward. Where it felt to me.
Yeah, it was awkward, but there's like a good fencing element to it. But it didn't ever quite pan out for me. Yeah.
And I think that it just all boils down to, I mean, I know I sound like a broken record here, but I think it all boils down to this is a game that you just have to get good at.
Yeah.
Before it really can become enjoyable. You know, it's just one of those things. You just try to sit down and play it. It's not a Pac-Man. You can't sit down and play it and just pick it up.
Right. Yeah, even the sword play. I mean, I could see how you could get good at that. Because it's all about levels of where, like, you aim high or aim low, and then you can block high and block low. And the bad guys do that.
Yeah. Here's a quick tangent. Why are such deadly things sometimes called play? Sword play, gun play, knife play?
I don't know.
Well, there was some gun play going on, and putting play at the end of it kind of makes it try to feel a little happier.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. What about the graphics? Well, we talked about it a little bit. they kind of pale in comparison to the Amiga version.
Yeah, but I still think that they're good.
Yeah, I agree. I think that they're good until, like, I'm trying to do something like Joust.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely some hindrances, but I thought for an NES game, they were pretty darn good. There's definitely a lot worse out there.
Yeah, I agree.
And especially the cuts, the kind of the cut scenes and the castle. The scene where it shows the castle, I thought was very detailed.
Yeah, and when you're raiding through the castle, or when somebody raids you and you're shooting them with, we didn't even talk about that. If you get raided yourself, you're shooting them with a crossbow, trying to keep them from coming in. So that's really cool. And what I like about this game is, and this doesn't happen all the time on NES games, but sometimes it does. They fill the screen with stuff. Sometimes you get a game, like if you think about the original Mario, right? You have blocks and you have a ground to run on, but then everything else is just blue or black background, right? Well, this game, they fill it with it. There's either castle walls or something. The whole game is just full of stuff, which is cool.
Yeah, I mean, very detail oriented, and I don't know. Again, I think Aaron Hickman had mentioned that he'd played Dude Aaron, that he'd played the Amiga version, and he said it was better, and I just be curious to see like how detailed it was as well, or if that was something that was added on in the NES version.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't know. What about the music and the sound? I thought it was okay.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was good. It's just kind of that medieval sound to it, whatever that means.
Yeah, it does. It has like the
Renaissance fair.
Yeah, it makes me feel like I'm in a 8-bit Renaissance fair, which it fits really well, but it just kind of it just kind of bored me after a while.
Yeah, nothing to write home about, nothing to like, because there's some 8-bit songs out there that I can listen to, just like as a good song.
Yeah, we've talked about it. Some stuff you could actually, as long as your wife doesn't hear and call you a nerd, you could listen to just anytime.
Right, but this one I wouldn't find myself doing that with.
No, I wouldn't either. It fits the game and it doesn't distract from the game, but it doesn't blow you away either.
Right.
I don't know. Is there anything else about the gameplay that we missed that we need to talk about?
I do want to mention the box art. Now, the box art for the NES version is different from the Amiga version, but I'm stealing this from a guy. I didn't come up with this myself, but after looking at it, and if you've got a picture of it, you want to check this out.
Okay, hang on. Let's pull one up.
It says, the guy was talking about the box art. He said, not every day that you see Michael Bolton saving a damsel in distress. And the guy on the box art does look like Michael Bolton.
Really?
Yeah. He may have modeled for it. Like 80s Michael Bolton, not new Michael Bolton.
Oh, okay. Okay, hang on. I'm going to pull it up real quick.
Yeah, you're going to want to see
those watching. Michael Bolton being the guy on the right?
Yes.
Yeah, I can see it being. I can see that.
Yeah, that's pretty fun.
Is this Michael Bolton back in the? What was his big song? There's your cat.
Yeah.
Hey, I've got a train. You've got a cat.
Train and the cat every week.
Every week. That's at least one thing. Maybe the only thing that everybody has to look forward to.
Consistent, yeah. Yeah, that's Michael Bolton.
I was trying to say, what's the name of that song you had? When a Man Loves a Woman? Is that Michael Bolton?
He does that he does a version of that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Cool. I don't know. I think we covered the game fairly well. Mm-hmm. Do you think it's worth it to have in your library?
I think it's worth what it's selling for.
Which is what, about $5 or $6?
Yeah, I mean, going on up to 10.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I would pay up to 10. I like it at the $5 price range.
Yeah.
But again, we talked about this. What did we talk about this on? There was another game that was around this price range, and we talked about not getting it because of better games in the price range.
Yeah.
I can't remember what that
That
game
is
was.
true.
But I remember thinking...
It was one that we did recently. It was one we did recently. But...
Yeah, because I remember thinking Kung Fu.
Mm-hmm.
Kung Fu is a great game that you could have for $5. And I would
Right.
get that if you don't already have it. I hate to keep
Right.
bringing up Kung Fu, but... So it was a game after Kung Fu.
If you have a massive NES collection and you're just looking for another game and you don't have this one, go for it.
Yeah, I would get this one.
Yeah.
Definitely. I wish
How
I
about
could think
some
of a game.
retrofitted trophies?
Oh, we can go ahead and do that, yeah. We can go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
Home Alone,
Okay.
by the way. It was Home Alone.
Who's Home Alone? Okay.
Yeah, it was Home Alone.
Retrofitted Trophies. This is the segment that...
Oh, that's when they stole from us.
they stole
Okay.
from us. But Michael apologized for it, so...
Okay, it's fine.
So
I won't say.
all forgiven.
Yeah.
We're not very litigious
I will-
podcasters.
I will call off my trope of Apple-like lawyers.
All right, so
That's your
Retrofitted
first trophy?
Trophies.
It was Home Alone?
Yep, that's my trophy. Home Alone.
All right.
I have 2.
I have 3, and I swear I had a 4th one, but I cannot remember it.
Okay.
So if I remember it as we go through, I'll let you know.
All right. My first one is Kevin Costner Would Be Impressed. And that is find
Okay.
Robin Hood and beat the game. Use Robin
All right.
Hood and beat the game.
All right, my first one is Don't Blink, because it almost, like, I felt like on the jousting, it's like you're running toward each other, and then it cuts to the 2D version, and if you get the Don't Blink trophy, you win at jousting.
Okay. All right. That's good. All right. My second one is Putin Rejoiced. And that is when the red team conquers the map.
Ooh.
Because get it? Red. Putin.
Yeah. All right. Putin's favorite color is red.
Yeah. It better be.
All right. How about the Woo Hooo award? And that is win at the mace battle.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Because you were talking about the guy at the party?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. All right.
And my third one was, did you say Abe Lincoln? And that
Nice.
is beat one of the jousting or the mace battle or the sword fight while having your eyes closed as a homage to Blinken from
Yep.
Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Men in Tights. Abe Lincoln.
Did you say Abe Lincoln?
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
All right, so game rating.
Game rating. And there's not a lot I can do with that. That's the rating for the game.
That's what it is.
The game rating.
What do you think they do in that segment?
Rate the games and each other's performances.
All of the games?
All of the game. Anything that is a game, they rate it.
How are we going to rate this game?
Could be a Robin Hood movie.
This isn't a
A lot of Robin
Hood.
Hood movie.
Yeah, I know, but this isn't
Well,
a
Robin Hood's
Hood
in
game.
the game.
Okay.
Robin Hood's in the game.
Okay, all right, I can go with that. I'll go with that.
Or we could do medieval movie.
No, I like Robin Hood movie. Let's really narrow it down.
Okay.
You go first.
Let's see. So we've got the Disney Robin Hood. We've got Robin Hood Men in Tights. And we've got Robin Hood Prince of Thieves.
And you also
gonna give
have
it-
Russell Crowe's Robin Hood, whatever it was called.
Oh, yeah, I don't even know the name of that. I'm going to give it Russell Crowe's Robin Hood.
Because you don't even know the name of it.
Because, I think it was a more serious take on it. And this is kind of a more serious game. And it's one, that movie, you're going to have, I think it's a long movie. You're going to have to sit down for, a few hours. And this game takes
You have
time.
to devote some
get
time
good
to
at.
that movie and this game.
Right.
Okay.
Got to devote some time to this game. Yeah.
I guess I'll go with the Kevin Costner movie then.
Yeah.
I don't think it's deserved. This game does not deserve the rank of Disney's Robin Hood or the rank of Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yeah.
Because it's not that good.
Yeah.
But I was a big fan of the Robin Hood Kevin Costner movie when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was pretty awesome. And so I think this game's good enough to be It's Kevin Costner worthy.
Yeah.
That could be a new phrase. It's Kevin Costner worthy. No, you can't make a phrase. You can't deem a phrase, or else it doesn't become a phrase.
That's right.
Unfortunately.
Men in Tights is best Robin Hood movie, though.
Oh yeah, hands down.
Yeah,
hands down.
Okay, and just making sure we're on the same page.
And then probably the Disney one.
Yeah.
And then I've never even seen the Russell Crowe one.
No, I haven't
either. Okay.
I'm sure there was one that was made like a long time ago, too.
Oh, I'm sure there's more than what we're talking about. There's got to be a handful more at least. Robin Hood's a pretty popular dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
All right.
What we got? Listener feedback?
Listener feedback. Okay. Do you have it pulled up, or do you want me to pull it up? I can pull it up pretty quick, I think.
Okay, you pull it up. I've got a phone email, or not a phone email, you know.
I've got a phone! Yeah.
No, we have a voicemail. It's really long. I will say it's really long. It's actually a two-parter because it's so long that it would not fit into one voicemail.
Oh boy.
It's from Dude Greg.
Okay.
We'll try to listen to the whole thing, but it's probably like 6 minutes long.
Okay.
Also, I wanted to say we never did mention this. We talked about the Patreon earlier and how we passed certain milestones. Well, we passed a Justin gets a microphone milestone, right? And so Justin's using a microphone this episode.
Yay!
So it should sound better.
Hopefully it sounds better.
Although we still have to get him a stand, so you may hear some bumps against the mic here and there. So we apologize if you've been hearing bumps.
Don't knock my makeshift stand that's made out of a cracker box, a thing of lotion, and on the other side we've got some antacid, some Tums, holding it up. So don't knock it.
Don't knock it till you try it.
Yeah.
So thank you to everybody for that, and also, by the way, thank you to Tim from Comic Nerds Unite, Dude Tim from Comic Nerds Unite, and Star Wars Nerds Unite, because he did attempt to give us a microphone. Yes. But Justin's computer is too fancy.
And does not. It's newfangled. Right.
It does not have a microphone input. The old school style microphone input.
Yeah.
Only got a
USB.
Headphones are USB only. So thank you to Dude Tim, but unfortunately we were not able to use it. We can ship it back to you if you want it back. All right, let's try this. Let's try this voicemail. You ready?
Yep.
Okay, it's eerily silent.
Maybe it's just 6 minutes of silence. He forgot to hang up the phone.
He didn't actually leave anything. All right. Let me fast forward here. Nope, that one's nothing. Let's try one more time. Let's just try part 2. See what happens part 2. Is that your cat again?
Yes.
That's awesome.
He does what we call it, his call of the wild.
He's got a call of the wild?
Yeah, he does this quite often, actually. He just meows loudly.
Okay, so technical difficulties, and I'm terribly sorry, Greg, but I cannot get the voicemail to play tonight. It's trying to act up.
Well, it's, call us again. Maybe.
Call us again, Greg. Actually,
or maybe we can...
He may not have to call us again for next week. Hint, hint.
Ooh.
Dude, Greg may not actually have to call in for next week's show.
Tom Arnold would be impressed.
Yes.
Bringing
Okay,
it back,
so
yeah.
yeah, you got anything besides?
Well, I am trying to find the feedback we put up, but that's.
Are you on your phone?
Coming.
It's in the pinned post. It's in the pinned post.
Oh, how dare you!
I try to make it easy.
I know.
I can hear you scrolling. Through your new microphone.
Oh yeah, I can see that on my Audacity. Here we go. Now we've got. Panda Guzman Peter says, "It's too late for an April Fool joke, dudes." Yeah, okay. Gabe Van Gilder. I hope I didn't butcher that.
You got it.
It's not as bad as everyone says it is. I liked it back then. Not so much today. Probably. LOL.
That's funny.
Paul
I really want to say something about Peter Panda's comment, but no. No. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. Paul Stevenson said, conceptually great, mechanically bad, but so was Ultra Skate or Die. After getting hang of the controls, it's a pretty good game.
Yeah, that's kind of what we said. So that's good.
Eric the Bruce said, I had high hopes for this game on the NES, but I played the PC version first, and the NES version didn't quite stand up. Graphics were not as good as could have been, and play control was awful. Retro Trophy, holy moly, making the biggest hole in the castle wall with consecutive shots. That's a good trophy.
Yeah, I like that.
And he kind of answered our question that we were talking about earlier, the comparing the versions. Humberto Montoya said, never even heard of this one. I guess this comment won't make for a good feedback. Can't wait to hear the episode. Well, okay. It made it on the show, Humberto. Jacob McClanahan said, never heard of this one. I'm intrigued, even though I see nothing but terrible things being said about it. Dude Hickman says, best version is probably Amiga. NES version pales in comparison. Joe Copel?
Joe.
Okay. I remember the controls being horrible, but I also remembered loving this game as a kid. I guess I'm going to have to pick this up and see if it still holds up or not. Hey, Leah. I'll be out the mat. Okay.
You better tend to her. Better tend to her soon. You're not being a very good dad right now.
That's right. I'm going to start over with Joe's comment. Joe Copel says, I remember the controls being horrible, but I also remember loving this game as a kid. I guess I'm going to have to pick this up and see if it still holds up or not. Tom Miller, not Tim. Timmy. It's not Timmy. Tom.
Tommy.
Played the HE double hockey sticks out of this one on the Amiga back in the day. Looking forward to seeing this episode because I remember next to nothing about it except that jousting was involved.
Man, everybody had an Amiga but me, sounds like.
Yeah, really.
Did you have an Amiga?
I didn't even know that they were that popular. No, I did not have an Amiga. Huh. I did have an Apple II. Not a Amiga. David Book said, never heard of it. Daniel Walker said, this is one of the first games I picked up after restarting my NES collection. I'm a huge history and strategy fan, so it was really up my alley. Clayton South said, I like the game. I like that this game is hard and that I died within 15 moves more than I cared to count. Good game. Wish I were better at it. And Tim Van Autreve said, this is one of my favorite NES games currently and from my childhood. It was so challenging, and I loved the various mini games you had to be good at to win the game. I finally beat it as an adult, going for the Two Dudes High Score Challenge. Woo!
All right. So we inspired greatness.
Yeah.
As usual.
And he even said, Two Dudes, motivating gamers since 2013 or 2014?
It was
and then
14,
you corrected him with February 2014. And Greg
Although Justin and I have been podcasting since 2013, so...
This is true. This is true. And Greg Polander. Did my thoughts via voicemail already? Yeah, sorry about that.
Sorry.
And I got pretty long-winded on this great game.
And also broke our voicemail.
Yeah. Thanks, Greg. Not really. But,
okay.
Do you hear that?
The I did hear the... What? Oh, the screaming? The cat? Oh, what is it?
Yes.
Is it that Leah or the cat?
The cat.
Sometimes I can't tell the difference.
That's the cat. That's the cat. And he's in another room. And you can still hear him.
That's his, he's trying to holler at the ladies.
Apparently. He's fixed, so I don't know what he's doing. But
well, he's saying, hey, ladies, can't get none of this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't even want it.
That's pretty good. Okay. All right.
We have an iTunes review.
Okay, good.
Let me read it real quick. It's actually, maybe we've already read this one. I don't know. It's Bring Water Everywhere is the person who wrote it for us. The dudes have it. 5 stars. These dudes are great. Love hearing about old Nintendo games. My favorite part is the retrofitted trophies. Hilarious. That's
Sweet.
It. Yeah, thank you for that review. And feel free to send more reviews, especially if you love awesome cat jokes.
Yeah. I don't even want it. That's too good. Okay. All right. Do you want to mention anything about April Fools? Or are we just going to let that hang?
Well, I was going to let it hang because I was hoping somebody else would bring it up. But yeah, we did an April Fool's joke. Woo! Anybody notice? Yeah, thanks. We put a lot of hard work into it, and nobody even made any mention. I think it was just so obvious to everybody that it was an April Fool's joke that they just kind of said, "Nah, okay, April Fool's." But then Justin and I put in all this work, and we got Dude Hickman to write us a song, and we got old Nick DeMarco to actually write up a huge article about it, and then everybody just kind of blew it off. So
yeah, nobody
thanks
did,
for that, Deep Adders. Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
All right, tell them where they can find us.
Well, twodudesinaNest.com, nestdudes.com, and what's the third one?
I think it's Nintendudes, maybe?
Nintendudes, of course. The best one. I forget it every time. Find us on Facebook. Go to the group. It's a lot of activity going on over there. A lot of good discussion. It's a lot of fun. Yeah,
I guess some show news about that real quick. We did have a group and a page, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm trying a little experiment now because it's pretty dumb for us to just post the same thing in 2 different places. So what I've done is I've turned the Facebook page into just kind of I guess it's called an aggregator of the group's posts. So now anybody who posts in the group, it gets spit onto the Facebook page.
Yeah. So.
And then today I accidentally set it up to where I automatically welcomed anybody who joined the group, and all day today it's shown me welcoming everybody who is already in there. So I apologize for that. If that continues, I guess I'll have to stop that. But I was hoping that it would just, anytime somebody new joined, I would have a little blurb that says, welcome so-and-so, and then everybody could say, oh, here's a new guy. Welcome, get to know everybody. Instead, what happened was I set it up, and my automatic thing just decided I just wanted to welcome everybody all over again. So
yeah.
Welcome. Everybody.
I mean, yeah. Why not?
You can find us on iTunes and Stitcher as well. Leave us
reviews. And you can always call us.
Yes, you can call us. I don't know.
Hopefully it'll work.
Greg, I don't know if Greg completely broke it so that nobody can call us now, but that number is 775-773-8761. Exclamation point. Because some of our deep-adders thought that was funny, so I'll throw that on there.
All right. Or 7Retro1. 7757Retro1.
Yeah, 7757Retro1. And shout out to the Retro Junkies. Go listen to them. I'm not even going to try to name them all because we always screw them up. We forgot the No Swear Gamer last time, though, so we better say something. Say, hi, No Swear Gamer. Go listen to him on YouTube. Watch him on YouTube. No Swear Gamer. It's good stuff.
All right. Good show.
Here comes the noises for next week. It's another Patreon pick. This one was picked by Greg, and he actually donated to the point where he's going to come on the show with us. So thank you, Greg.
Looking forward to it.
And don't forget about the GoFundMe, Elliot Crabtree. Go check that out and donate if you feel so moved.
All right.
Here's the noises right here.